The small acts of kindness. About the human condition. Collective compassion within New York City. By Cecil Davis.
The small acts of kindness. Amidst the towering skyscrapers and bustling streets of New York City, a tapestry of humanity was woven together by countless stories. Among these stories was a hidden thread that spoke of the city's remarkable kindness. It wasn't always grand gestures that made the difference. Sometimes, it was the small acts of kindness that lit up the lives of its inhabitants. One crisp morning, in a coffee shop tucked away in the heart of Manhattan, a barista named Sarah served a steaming cup of coffee to a regular customer, Mr. Johnson. She noticed the weariness in his eyes due to long nights at the hospital with his ailing wife. Alongside his coffee, she placed a small note that read, "You're doing great, Mr. Johnson." It was a tiny gesture of support, but it warmed his heart and gave him a faint smile. Mr. Johnson, touched by the unexpected kindness, visited his wife in the hospital that evening. He shared the story of the note with her, and she told the nurse, Emily, who had been taking care of her. Inspired by the barista's small act of kindness, Emily paid it forward. The next day, Emily noticed a young man, Daniel, sitting alone in the hospital waiting area. He was visibly anxious, awaiting news of his father's surgery. Emily approached him and offered a reassuring smile. She shared Mr. Johnson's story and gave Daniel a comforting pat on the shoulder. Moved by Emily's gesture, Daniel found solace in her words. He thanked her by bringing a bouquet of fresh flowers for Emily and all the nurses caring for his father the following day. Among the nurses was Lily, who took one flower from Daniel's bouquet and placed it on the desk of her colleague, Maria, who had been feeling under the weather. In gratitude, Maria prepared a homemade soup to share with the nursing staff. This small act of kindness spread warmth throughout the hospital. The aroma of the soup filled the break room, drawing on doctors, nurses, and other hospital staff. As they shared a meal, laughter and camaraderie filled the air, briefly easing the relentless tension of the hospital environment. News of this heartwarming gathering reached a local journalist, Sarah, who was visiting the hospital for an unrelated story. Intrigued by the power of small acts of kindness, she wrote an article about it for a city magazine. The article, "The Hidden Kindness of New York," showcased how a simple note from a barista set off a chain reaction of compassion and goodwill. It resonated with the city's residents, inspiring them to seek opportunities for their acts of kindness. Soon, New Yorkers from all walks of life shared stories of the small ways they had made a positive difference in someone else's day. From offering a seat on the subway to helping a neighbor with groceries, these small acts of kindness became a part of the city's culture. The collective compassion within New York City shone brighter than ever, proving that the city's heartbeat was with kindness even in the hustle and bustle. Like threads in a tapestry, the small acts of kindness wove a beautiful story of a city that cared for its own, one small gesture at a time. And in the end, these small acts made the city truly remarkable. Amidst the continuing waves of kindness that swept through the city, one more tale quietly unfolded. In a quiet neighborhood park, a young woman named Alice sat alone on a bench, engrossed in her sketchbook. She noticed a homeless man, James, who frequented the park, and she often exchanged friendly smiles with him. One particularly chilly afternoon, Alice brought an extra blanket she had thoughtfully purchased for James. As she handed it to him, gratitude and surprise filled his eyes. He had not expected such generosity from a stranger. The two started conversations about their lives, hopes, and dreams in the following days. James shared his aspirations of finding stable work, and his resilience moved Alice. Alice, a writer herself, put James's story to paper, turning it into an inspiring article about the strength and determination of the city's homeless population. Her article highlighted James's journey and the support and compassion he had found in this unexpected friendship. The piece was published in a local newspaper and gained the attention of various organizations dedicated to helping people experiencing homelessness. With their support, James eventually found a job, a small apartment, and a chance at a new life. The story of Alice and James was yet another testament to the city's hidden kindness, where offering a blanket to a stranger led to a transformative connection and a brighter future. It was a reminder that in the vast tapestry of New York City, it's often the smallest threads of compassion that create the most beautiful patterns of humanity. I love New York. Dear reader, as the author of the story, The Hidden Kindness of New York, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for joining me on this journey through the heart of one of the world's most vibrant cities. It's an honor to share this tale with you, and I hope it has touched your heart as much as it touched mine while writing it. Amid towering skyscrapers, bustling streets, and the constant rush of life in New York City, we often overlook the small acts of kindness that transpire daily. This story was inspired by the belief that within the urban chaos, a deep well of compassion flows through this great metropolis's veins. Through the characters and their interconnected stories, I aimed to showcase the beauty of everyday kindness. It is a reminder that even the tiniest gestures can create ripple positivity that reaches far and wide. In the story, a barista's note, a nurse's comforting smile, and a homemade soup led to a sense of community and warmth within the hospital walls. The power of these small acts of kindness is truly remarkable. With its diverse and resilient population, New York City is where dreams are chased and fulfilled. Still, it's also a place where hearts are opened, bonds are forged, and lives are changed through kindness. I hope this story has reminded you of the goodness that exists in the world, and I encourage you to look for opportunities to perform your small acts of kindness in your daily life. Whether you're in a city that never sleeps or any other corner of the world, remember that a single act of kindness can profoundly impact someone's day. Thank you for taking the time to read this story, and I hope it has left you with a warm heart and a renewed appreciation for the kindness that surrounds us every day. Warm regards. Cecil Davis. Brooklyn, New York.
The city that never sleeps.